Imagine a virus. I don't think this should be too hard for anyone. Now, it starts off as tiny little semi living particles. But once it affects a human, things change. Those tiny little particles, there might not even be many of them, don't stay few for long. They start growing, they start multiplying, they start affecting the entire body of the person. She enters a grocery store. She coughs. Two people close to her are affected. They're infected by those tiny little particles, semi-living. And then they become carriers. There's a man and a woman. The man goes home. He kisses his wife. The woman goes home. She hugs her son. The next day, the woman, who was kissed by her husband, goes off to work. The son is old enough to go to school. You see where this goes. Silently, these tiny little semi-living organisms are spreading and multiplying within the human bodies of the hosts. But it's not just there that they are spreading and multiplying. Instead, every contact, every time someone sneezes, every time a surface is touched that they can latch onto, a new potential for a new carrier is created. Now, this mimics something else in life. It's like yeast. If you've ever baked bread, you take a little bit of a dry substance and you throw it into some dough and you start kneading. Now, at first, it's just that little dry substance, but it doesn't stay that way for long. Silently, imperceptibly, in that dough, it starts to grow. It starts to multiply. It starts to affect every single part of that dough, no matter how large the dough is. In fact, if we were to pursue our analogy further, the yeast is more powerful than the virus. The virus, no matter how infectious it is, will probably not infect every single individual in a society. Once enough people have been infected, it will stop infecting others, because the more people that meet it are more likely to have built up antibodies to it already. But that yeast goes into every single corner of that dough. There is no piece of dough that remains unchanged by the yeast. And that yeast is what the kingdom of heaven is like. It's a little bit of yeast. Insignificant, small, powerless. Well, not powerless. It looks powerless. But then you mix it in. You throw it into society. And silently, imperceptibly, maybe even you are unable to notice, but there's a difference made. Over time, it grows, it expands, it affects everything. Is that the kind of faith we have in the kingdom of heaven? Silently, imperceptibly, but inexorably, it is advancing, and God will not let it fail.